I start.
Okay. Now, guys, let's go to our lesson for today, inshallah, and let's do our lesson. Hassan, my mic, my camera, everything is good.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Yeah. Opposites and absolute values. We are on page 199, lesson 2. Now we have two concepts here. We have opposites alone and absolute values alone. Okay. So we'll start with the word opposite. What's the meaning of the opposite? Now, opposite of the black is white. We know that. So the word opposite means the contradiction of something. Now, here we are talking about integers. Yesterday we talked about number line, if you remember, number line. And here we said we have three main parts. Zero is the first part. To the right, we have positive numbers, right? And to the left, we have negative numbers. And we said that here 1, 2, 3 forever. Here -1, -2, -3 forever, right? We did that yesterday. Today we'll do two things for these numbers or these integers, absolute values and the opposite. So we'll start with the opposite first. Now opposite of an integer, guys, to find opposite of an integer, you need to change its sign. Change the sign of the integer. The sign, and when I say sign, I means plus or minus. When I say sign, I mean plus or minus. So opposite, to change the sign of the integer, means opposite. OPP means opposite. Opposite of -4 is +4. Opposite of +3 is -3. Easy. So opposite of -4 is +4. Opposite of +3 is -3. Means to find the opposite of a number, just change its sign. Do the opposite direction. Now, opposite of 0, yesterday we said 0 has no sign. 0, it's neither positive or negative. So opposite of 0 is same 0. Opposite of 0 is same 0. Now the plus, guys, it's okay if you don't write it. Opposite of -4 is 4. But opposite of 3 is -3. The negative is very important to write it. This is the opposite, guys. It's easy thing. Let's go to the absolute value. What's the meaning of absolute value? Now, absolute value, look here, to understand first what's the absolute value, then we will understand how we find the absolute value. Now, in the number line, please, guys, focus with me here. We have 0, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and forever we said that. This is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and forever. Now, the opposite value, guys, is the distance, the absolute value of an integer is the distance between what? Between the integer and 0. Means if I want the absolute value of the number 4. What's the absolute value of 4? So I will go to the 4. The absolute value of 4 is the distance between 4 and 0. Now, what's the distance between 4 and the 0? It is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the absolute value of 4 is 4. Again, the absolute value of an integer is the distance between the integer and 0. But the opposite value of the absolute value of 3 is the absolute value of 3 equal. It is the distance between 3 and 0. So the distance between 3 and 0, it is 1, 2, 3. So the absolute value of 3 is 3 also. So if the If the integer is positive, the absolute value is the same integer. If the integer is positive, it's the absolute value of the same integer. Now I want to find the absolute value. And by the way, absolute value, guys, this is the notation or the shortcut of the absolute value. When I put a number between these two columns, like -3, here means I want the absolute value of -3. Now, the absolute value of -3, as we said in the definition, it is the distance between -3 and 0. This is -3 here. What's the distance between -3 and 0? Who can tell me, guys, what is the distance between -3 and 0? Here, how many units we have? Amin. Amin.
The distance is the up positive plus 2.
ركز حبيبي معي. I want the absolute value of -3, right? I'm asking you, what is the distance between -3 and 0? Here, what is the distance?
Here.
Huh?
Here.
حبيبي نايم انت، انا مش سامعك.
Wait.
ركز الله يسعدك، علي لي صوتك.
3.
ينال ينال محمد، ايش هذه التو؟ مش فاهم. نزل ايدك، نزل ايدك. Amin, are you with me?
Yes.
ركز حبيبي. I'm asking you, what is the distance between -3 and 0? Can you tell me?
Positive 3.
Positive 3. The distance between -3 and 0 is what?
So I said it's from the first answer.
Why positive? Why, mister? Why positive?
Because it's negative, we need to put positive 3 like addition to make it 0.
Why the distance between -3 and 0 is positive 3 while I'm talking about negative number here? I will tell you why. Because distance, guys, distance cannot be negative. بصير احكي والله الديستانس بيني وبين المدرسه -3 كيلومتر. No, we cannot say that. Distance cannot be negative. So the absolute value, guys, cannot be negative. Means the absolute value of positive number is the same number. The absolute value of negative number is positive. It's different from the opposite. The opposite of negative is positive. The opposite of positive is negative. But the absolute value, no, always gives positive. If it's positive, it's the same. If it's negative, turn it to positive. For example, the absolute value of 4 is 4, positive. The absolute value of -9 is positive 9. The absolute value of positive 8 is still positive 8. Do not change it. It's not opposite. So in the opposite, we change the sign always. But in the absolute value, always gives positive. Always gives positive. So these are the two concepts, opposites and absolute value. Hope you understand it. Now, all of you, remove your hands. All of you. We have 10 students here. شيلوا لها اليدين شوف يلا. Now, if you don't understand the opposite and the absolute value, put your hand, please. وإن شاء الله إني ما أختار حدا ويحكي لي no mister I forget. يلا إبراهيم.
مستر هلا صح نحن مسوين هذا الستريت لاين we can
speak in English.
It can be negative 9 or negative
Where, Mister?
In the
What's your
line.
question? What's your question, Habibi?
My question, we can do it -3 or no?
Where?
In the line.
Where, you Mister? Here in the absolute value or in the opposite? Where you are talking?
In the opposite.
In the opposite of +3 is -3. The opposite of -4, +4. Is this difficult?
No. But sir, I don't
The
understand.
absolute value, do you
Thank you.
understand it?
Yes, it's easy.
Khalas, thank you. That's what I want.
Most welcome.
Yanal Fadi.
Yes, mister. I don't understand the absolute.
Absolute value?
Yeah.
Absolute value of negative is positive. Absolute value of positive is stay positive.
Okay, why in 4 you don't put any sign?
No, we have a sign, Mister.
What is it? Okay.
It is positive, but we don't need to write it. A number without sign, we said that yesterday. A number without sign, it is positive.
Okay.
Ahmad Fadi, remove your hand, Yanal. Ahmad. بس سلطان.
نعم yes mister.
Yes,
Mister,
what's your question?
why we put the positive, make it positive? We don't make it like +8. We don't make it -8.
Here?
Yeah, why?
Is this opposite, Mister, to make it negative?
No,
It is absolute value. What's the absolute value?
it's because it's yeah, mister, because it's
Mister, I'm asking you, answer me. Do not answer me with other question. I'm asking you a question, answer me. What is the absolute value? What is it?
مش اسمها +8.
What?
Here is +8.
Mister, what is the absolute value? ايش هي? It is the distance, distance. Do you know what's the meaning of the distance?
Yes.
Between the integer and 0. خلاص?
Oh, okay, thank you.
يا روحي. So absolute value of the positive stays positive, بتضل positive. But absolute value of the negative, turn it to what?
Positive.
This is different from the opposite. The opposite, we always change the sign. Always. Now,
Okay.
opposite of 0 is 0. And here, guys, absolute value of 0 is 0 also. So, absolute value always positive because it is distance, and the distance cannot be what? Negative. But the opposite, no, just change the sign. This is the idea, guys. It's easy. Let's go to the examples and do some exercises together. Yeah. Example 1. Sultan, read. Before we go to example 1, sorry, I need you to copy this square here in your copy box. Surah. Now look here, guys, what I will write inside this square. Look here. If we have two negatives besides each other, this means positive. If we have two negatives besides each other, this means positive. Why? Later on we will know. If we have negative and positive besides each other, this means negative. If we have positive and negative besides each other, this means negative also. Now, if we have positive and positive besides each other, this means positive. Again, if we have two negatives besides each other, it's positive. If we have negative and positive or positive with negative, it's always negative. And if we have two positives besides each other, this means positive. Copy this square, guys, please. Copy it. It's important one. Now we will use that to solve exercises about this idea. Now, let's go to example 1, page 200, I think. Example 1. Yalla, I want someone to read here. Rakan.
Okay, Mister. Example
Yalla, I'm an
1.
example 1, Rakan. Go.
Okay. Graph 5 on the number line. The point graphed at -5 is units to the left of 0. The point that is the same number of units to the right of 0 is 5.
Thank you, Mister. Thank you, Rakan. Now, find, look here, guys. The question wants us to find, look at the board, please. Negative 5. Negative 5. Let's go back to our square here. Negative means what? Positive. And here we have negative. So negative 5 is positive 5. Negative 5 is positive 5. Got it? We are using the square here. Negative means what? Positive. Here, the question wants us to find negative 5 means positive 5. Why? In the number line, guys, in the number line, the positive, we are going to the right. And the negative, we are going to the left. Now, first negative, we are going to the left. But the negative of the negative will do the opposite. So we'll go to the right. So the negative becomes what? Positive. Using the square, okay? Find negative 5. The answer is positive 5. This is example 1. Let's go to the check under example 1. What we have? The check under example 1, guys, we have negative 21. Negative, bracket, negative 21. We have two negatives besides each other. In the square, negative means what? Positive. So this is equal positive 21. Another example, if I want, for example, negative positive 8. Look here. Negative positive 8. Go to the square. Negative positive means what? Negative. Look here, guys. Negative positive 8. Here, negative positive is the same. Now, negative positive is negative. So, negative positive 8 is negative 8. Stop. If I want positive of negative 8, look here. Positive negative is what? Negative. So positive negative still negative 8. But if I want negative 8, look here. Negative is positive. Negative is positive. So positive 8. So I will use the square to solve these kind of the questions. Okay. So the square is very important. This is the check. Negative is positive. So it's positive 21. But if we have positive 8. Now positive stay positive. So positive is positive 8. And it's okay if you don't try the positive sign. 8, it's positive 8. Here, 21, it's the same of positive 21. This is the idea. If I have three signs, like, look here, guys, and focus, inshallah, focus. If I have negative 8. I have negative 8. Type. Let's start here. We have two negatives. From the square, the two negatives is what? Positive. So these two negatives is ايش? Positive. Now we have negative with what? With positive. Now from the square, negative positive is what? Negative. So negative positive 8 is negative 8. For example, minus plus minus 9. I have three signs here. Minus plus minus 9. Let's start with the two besides each other here. Now plus with minus, look here guys, positive with negative, go to the table. Positive with negative is what? Negative. So plus with minus together is negative. Now what I have with the outside sign, I have minus with minus, negative, negative, right? Now from the table, negative, negative is what? Positive. So minus, minus is plus 9. So sometimes we have two signs, we need to make them one sign. Sometimes we have three signs, we need to make them one sign. Using the table, we can do what we want. Using the table, we can do what we want. This is example 1. Let's go to example 2, guys. Example 2. Right. Omar Koshak, read.
Okay. Asia and Latoya are building a sandcastle and digging a moat around the sandcastle. They would like the moat to be as deep as the sandcastle is tall.
Good. Wait, ya Omar. Omar, wait. Look, guys, at the board. هذول البنتين, they want to build, this is the ground. This is what? The ground. They want to build sandcastle. Hello? These two girls, they want to build sandcastle. And they want to dig on the ground a moat, same length of the sandcastle. Same length. يعني up the sandcastle, down the moat. Okay? Continue, ya mister.
The sandcastle is 17 inches tall.
Now, the sandcastle up is 17 inch. So I'm the 17 above the ground. Continue.
What integer represents the depth of the moat?
I want the integer represent the depth of the moat. Because they have the same, but here up the ground, here above the ground, here below the ground. Remember yesterday, guys, above the sea level, below the sea level? If this 17, down will be what? Negative 17. Now, negative 17 is not the depth. The depth is 17. But the negative means we are going where? We are going down. So let's go to the book and read things there. Read here, yell. What integer represent? Down, read, mister. The depth.
The depth of the moat can be expressed as the integer that is the positive of the opposite of 17.
Continue.
The opposite of a negative is the opposite of positive is negative.
So
the integer that represents the depth of the moat is negative 17.
Negative 17. Why negative, guys? Because we are going down. We are below the ground, okay? Now let's go to the check. It's the same idea. Let's go to example 3 here. See it? Example 3, guys. We have negative, negative, negative 3. Example 3. Example 2, example 4, Asif. Example 3, it is the same of example 2, guys. Same idea. Read it and solve it. Now, example 4, we have negative, negative, negative 3, right? They write like this bracket, then they write like this. Now, I don't care about the brackets here because we don't have exponents. So I will use my table. I'll use my table. Now, the first two negatives or the second two negatives, it's up to you. You can use these two together or these two together. Now, let's start with these two together. Negative, negative from the table, it is what? Negative, negative from the table, it's positive. So these two negatives is what? Is positive. Now, positive with negative, positive with negative, where is it? Hey, positive with negative is what? Negative. So the answer is what? Negative 3. This is example 4. Let's see the check under the example. What we have? Under the example, we have check. We have negative, negative, negative 11. Negative, negative, negative 11. أحمد معايطة.
Yes, Mr.
يلا يا أحمد. What's the answer here? How I will solve this? How I'll find the value of this 11 with 3 negatives?
First of all, we said negative equal positive. And
So negative, negative together is what? Positive. From where we know that? From the table, right? From the square. Continue.
It means the answer is negative 11.
Why negative 11?
Negative plus positive equal negative.
Not a plus, yeah, mister. We are not adding anything here. Allah يسعدك. We are not adding anything, okay? Here we have two negative.
With positive equal
negative. Now negative with positive from the table is what?
Is 11. Is negative 11.
So write negative 11. Yeah. This check under example 4, guys. Do it.
Mr. Can Muhammad answer?
Yes. Where is Muhammad?
Here I am.
Muhammad, how are you?
Good.
Look here, Muhammad. Negative, positive, negative 8. What's the final answer? Can you help me?
Negative 8.
How?
Negative, positive, negative.
يلا شو أعمل؟
With negative.
Positive with negative is what? هذول الاثنين.
Positive. Negative.
Positive with negative is what? Negative. Now, negative with negative is what?
Positive.
Positive 8. So the final is positive 8. ممتاز محمد. Right. All of you guys, remove your hands now, please. All of you. All of you, remove your hands. عصام شو بتعمل؟ All of you, remove your hands, guys. Please. طيب. If you don't understand, put your hand. If you don't understand, put your hand. قصي.
مستر
ايوه روق ليه معصب؟ ايوه يا مستر.
I don't understand the question 4.
Question 4. Did you write the table which I wrote up, the square?
Yes.
طيب يلا تعال معي هون. From the table you will answer me anything, okay?
Okay.
Look here. Minus 9. Hello?
Okay.
طب اول تنتين هذول minus minus ايش هو؟
Positive.
Positive. Now what we have? Positive with what?
With negative.
يلا. Positive with negative from the square which we wrote. What we have?
Negative.
Negative what?
9.
طيب, look here. Tell me.
We will put the positive and the negative first one, and it will be negative.
يلا هذول ايش؟
Negative.
طب وهذول ايش؟
Positive.
No. Positive. Negative with negative, positive. So what's the final answer?
Positive 9.
Bas. Do you understand it?
Yes, yes.
Why? Why you understand it?
Because I don't know that we will
No,
put a
youngster,
circle
no.
and
No. Why you understand it? Why? Who can tell him why, guys? He understands this
Because-
idea. Huh?
because of a
Because?
square.
لا يا زلمة أي سكوير لا موضوع أكبر من هيك. Why guys? Why he understand this idea? Who can tell him? عمر كوشك. Why?
Because our teacher is smart.
يا عيني عليك يا سلام. ما شفت. Why يا قصي? Do you understand why now?
Yes.
ها خلي بالك. طيب I'm just joking guys. Okay, let's go back for your questions guys. If you don't have any questions, please put your hands, please. ينال فادي.
No, Mr. I lower it now. Sorry.
Okay. طيب we have عمر ونضال وينال محمد. ينال محمد.
Mr.
Yes يا مستر.
What is the homework?
يا حبيبي. The homework is the page of the practice. You know it?
Yes.
طب if you know
I
it,
know,
why you
but,
are asking?
all of the page, yes?
ولا نصها
I want to know
يعني?
the questions, all of the page or...
Yes, all of the page. Okay guys.
Thanks.
ابراهيم شو بتعمل يا ابراهيم؟ ايش تاكل بالقلم؟
Zaki.
طيب. Okay, Ibrahim. Thank you guys. And do your homework, send it to Classera, and we will meet on Sunday, inshallah. Thank you so much. I saw